Welcome back to the episode where we are going to actually use the WebSocket for the first time. We had been only connecting until now, or maybe configuring it for a long time, but then we're going to actually consume the WebSocket services today. First being, we already have the feature where we can actually create a chat room right now. And as soon as a chat room is created, we can use this WebSocket to sync across devices. Like whatever is being created right now can be synced across. So for that we are going to run the simulator within multiple devices and then try to sync it across devices based on whoever is creating. Let's say one user is creating a chat room, it gets synced across the other devices. That's what I'm going to demonstrate today. So let's get started with that. So we already have this feature where we are creating the chat rooms. So whatever I'm going to do is, I hope I have a couple of accounts to log into. So I'm just going to run one more. Stop and start the other one. We'll keep running this one. I know one account which works. So I'm going to log out from this one. And I guess wish @test.com is one more valid ID which I have. Not really. Maybe we can create one more. So I'm just gonna create something called as maybe Venki. That's my last name. Venki @test.mail.com. Same thing. Venki123. Hope so. Venki123. Oh, entered it wrongly again. It's not a valid email. Venki123. So login. So that's logging in with that ID. It's ivenki@gmail.com. So I should see that user being logged in right now. Yes, hello Venki, it says. So that user is logged in. Now let me log into the other one, which is wish@mail.com and wish1234. So I have logged in with two IDs right now. So two IDs logged in. So let's just keep these two logged in because one is Venki, the other one is Wish. So I should be able to start working. Let's start working on this feature where I'm going to add the WebSocket part, whatever we need to associate that call. So what needs to happen right now is, as soon as the WebSocket or at least the chatroom is created, we need to give a call to the WebSocket saying a new chatroom is created so that it can emit a new signal to whoever is subscribed to it. So for that, I'm just going to go back to the WebSocket service part again. So right now we only have the user authentication part, but then I'm going to add a request part called I've created as chatroom. Can just show you that part in my WebSocket. So if I go to my WebSocket part, I have something called as an emit call chatroom, which is nothing but it just propagates whatever newly created chatrooms to all the chatroom participants. So whoever is subscribed to it is going to receive it through new chatroom, a key called new chatroom, which is the emit part from the server. So on the client side, they should be subscribed to this one, new chatroom. So whatever event the WebSocket is going to receive is this chatroom on. So it's listening to all chatrooms. Whenever something is created from the client, it's going to listen to this one. So I'm going to grab this one as well and going to keep it within this place, the response part. So that's my new chatroom. So whoever creates it can listen on new chatroom for any new chatroom created. So I'm going to include that. That's my response.new chatroom. So if any new chatroom is created, I'm going to receive it over here. A new chatroom is received. and it's coming as it's going to come as a JSON. We need to again parse it and keep it on our side. So that parsing we can add it in a bit. Even we can add it right away because we know that it's going to come back as in a JSON format. So we need to import. Models is already imported. It's going to be the same model structure. So I can just say if let data, that whatever we receive is going to be, anyway, it's just going to send one object. So I can always say first to get that object, and it's going to, I'm just converting that into data. That it's coming as data, so I'm just receiving it as data, because whatever I'll send will be again a data. I'll show you that part as well. First thing first, I'm just setting up that receiving part where you're going to receive a chat room as a data type. So I'm just capturing the first from the array, which is again a data. And if I know that it's going to be of type chatroom, the model, then I can always use that, already have the utility function, or even I can just say chatroom dot init from data. So I can just call this init from data, which is already there. So if it is of type chatroom, it's going to transform this into data object itself. So that is this code. So I'm just saying if this is my chat, optional, okay, not that one. So I can just, okay, let's do a do try on this. Do catch should be fine. So if there is an error, if it's not able to capture it properly, maybe we can print it like chat room received is corrupted or something. So we have not received the right value of it. So maybe I can even print the error over here, so that if there is an issue, we can directly show what is the error that we received. So this is my data. I'm capturing it, converting that into a chatroom object, which is a chatroom model, whatever data that we have received. So internally, this init is nothing but it's JSON decoder, which is decoding. It's again codable is being implemented, so it can easily decode it into a chat room. So once this is received, we can maybe, the first thing that we can maybe do is print and see, before even propagating back, chat room received equals, I can just say, maybe try printing this and see whether we are receiving the chat room or not. So okay, that's the part. So this is my receiving part on the WebSocket side. It's pretty simple. Everything is going to be in this format from going forward. Like you are going to receive a data, we just decode it and then send it back to whoever is the consumer. Because this being a service, we need to send it back to maybe the interactor. So that's what we are going to do. So this receiving part is done. Let's also include the sending part, because I know if I have to send something as a new chat room created on my site, first thing is that I'm gonna send it for saving through the HTTP. Once that once I receive it back, that is happening somewhere over here. Let's go to the interactor and see where it is happening. So we already have the interactor. Where is that? Use cases, Chatroom Interactor. This is where we had the create part here. I was just mapping and then just ignoring that value over here. I was just mapping and then sending a return over here. So instead, what we can do is we can receive this and then push this to the WebSocket for actually to send it across to all the devices for syncing. So that's what we can do over here, and then send return over here. So that's only change we can do over here. So for sending this, first thing first, we need to define a function, an emit function over here. So we don't have we just had the setup connection over here, but we did not have anything to send notify. So I'm going to add one more function. Before that, I'm just going to include a protocol here. Like we have something called account WebSocket API. So I'm going to create one more protocol called Chatroom WebSocket API. So this is going to have currently a function to notify create chatroom. So whoever this can send the chatroom creation notification, and it will be sending the chatroom object itself to whoever is subscribed. So this is the function we are going to use to send a notification through the WebSocket channel. I have it right now, and I need to implement this within the chatroom. Let's create an extension for the chatroom WebSocket service. Modify. So your function is ready. All that we need now is to create the same structure. It's going to have that same return single structure. Maybe it's a good idea that I can have this created separately, because every time you're using this, so it's better that maybe it can be a closure or something. This whole thing is actually can be a closure. So let's maybe, it can be an exercise even for you. Just send across a comment or something where you show me how you can actually make it as a closure, and then I can just create a new single out of it or something. If you can try doing that, if you're actually learning it. So that's my single. So all that I'm going to do is just to emit. It's pretty simple code actually. It's only like I'm just going to say I just need to have the socket over here. Maybe I can just say weak self and then access that socket dot emit. I'm just going to emit based on a key. So I know that what is the key? That chat socket is a key. I think we defined request dot chatroom. So this is the chatroom creation request key on which we are going to propagate it from. It's like emit from here. Server will receive it on the on call, similar to how we are doing. So this is my item which I need to send. So I need to convert this chatroom to data before sending. So I can just say if let data equal to chatroom dot JSON data. I'm just going to send it as a JSON data. If let this is going to be a try block, and I can just move it within this one data. That's it. So if this is the case, if it is successful, I can just say single success. I don't send anything. And if there is, let's say, okay, if you need to capture an error, maybe you can include it within a try block. So we can just, maybe we can capture this within a catch block. So this is more like the do whole of this code and then a catch, and then you can just say single error. We just need to pass this error. So if it has failed with some reason, then that you can send it back like this error. This should be fine. So this is my emit. Once emit is successful, this is more like the parsing failing here, like do I am not able to convert it into JSON data something, I send an error. If it is successful, after I have sent it, emitted, it should reach the server, and then if it has reached the server, even this user will get a notification back. Right now I'm not specifically pointing to specific users, so it's I am going to get a response back with this object. So I can even use this to sync my data. So this is done. Notify create chatroom is ready. So all that now I need to do is to use this Chatroom Socket API. I'm gonna pass this to the where do we need to pass? We have the interactor, Chatroom Interactor. I'm going to use it over here. This is going to be the WebSocket service, but only that what I need is the Chatroom WebSocket API of it, because that's the only function I'm gonna call. Private let, and then self. Okay, we need it says it's an undeclared type. Why? It's already there, it's not public, that's the reason. And now I can just say self dot WebSocket service equal to WebSocket service. It's still not identifying. Let me check. Why not? Status view has something missing. Utility, is it? Fix that. Okay, that looks fine. This needs to be public now because we have made it public. Okay, so everything is fine. Now this is asking me to pass the WebSocket service, which we already have created, which is the WebSocket service. We just need to pass that within the use case factory. That's where I'm modifying it. So now everything should be fine. Let's go back. This is compiling fine. So where is that we need to call this function? Let's check that. So we already have the interactor, Chatroom Interactor. So we had made a map over here, but then because right now we have the Chatroom WebSocket available, and that is already returning an observable single. That if you see the return type of the function which we have defined, it's like single void is the return type. So you cannot map it like I had told in the last episode, where if it is like, if this is creating a new observable, then you cannot do a map, because if the existing observable is what you are transforming, then you can map it. But if whatever you are calling creates another observable, then you need to flat map for it to work. Otherwise you will have to again do all the subscription part and all that. So that's the reason this should be a flat map. Then you can just, I'm just going to do it in the obvious way, where which is like everyone should do in this way, so that it's more readable. So this is because this function is returning single void, I'm just pointing to this directly to this function. So this is working in this way. Now I can even make it simpler, like if I don't want to use the whole, because this function create is anyway going to return a chat room. So this function's consumer, we know that it is going to accept a chat room. So I can just say this much is enough. Even this will compile. So this is the like the compact way of doing it. I don't know whether it will lead to, I don't think it should lead to any memory issues, but if it leads to a memory issue, then it's better that you do it with these closures. I'm just going with this approach. So this is also done. So earlier, whatever code we had for creation right now also has the propagation part, where it will start propagating to the WebSocket as well, because I have made this call right now. So this call, if you go back, notify create chat room, if you go back there, it's actually sending a signal to the chat room. It's emitting something, and that's what this server is going to receive now. And as soon as it is received, it's going to propagate it to all the subscribers who are the logged in users. Like data, we are already receiving it through this, and we should be able to see this in both the devices. At least I'm going to run the secondary, like iWenki is already logged in, but I'm going to run this and going to send it through this one so that you can see whether it is received or not. Let's see that. So which is the device which is running? Let's see that iPhone 11 Pro. Okay, it is iWish is the ID which is logged in. Maybe I can just stop this one and then use this so that I can show you the log on the receiver's end, like whether he's receiving that chat room or not. So this is my receiver, iWenki, and let's also launch iWish. So iWish should be, he's now creating a chat room. So I'm gonna say iWish chat room, iWish chat room to discuss about soccer maybe. So that's it. So I should be able to see logs over here. This is the receiver. So if I'm receiving it, I should be able to see that log over here. So I'm going to create this. Done. So what did you receive? Socket is actually receiving Chatroom received, which is actually happening on this device right now. It's not yet synced because I don't have the sync code yet, but then once I have that sync part also integrated, you're going to see it syncing over this device. So I created over here, I received it over here right now. So you can see the WebSocket working already. First time that we are using WebSockets to send and receive data. So what I'm going to do is to actually integrate this syncing part, because we don't have that yet. It's only received until here. This is what you are seeing as a print, but we need to propagate this back to the receiver. So that can happen, or to the interactor at least. So that can happen using you already have this WebSocket response which we are having, which is actually nothing but a socket relay. So what is the type that we have defined? The response is logged in. So we can also add some more of at least whatever is needed to receive that. So for that, I'm going to create one more case called notify chat room. This is more for the creation case. I think I might modify it later when you are, let's say, doing a remove or something of a chat room. So I have added it, so I can now use this to propagate it to the interactor. So all that I need to do now is, did we actually use it anywhere before? We did not use that because whatever we had earlier was to what is that we had it for the response. We had not used it. Response is logged in, which is not anymore needed. This is anyway not needed anymore because the logged in we are not capturing anymore. Now let's use this notify chat room. So all that I need to do now is to have the relay over here. Let's pass the relay. Relay is the socket response relay. I'm going to use it to accept the new chat room received. That event is going to be notify chat room. I already have the chat room received chat room. So this should now at least notify whoever is the receiver. So where do we need to sync the chat rooms? That is going to happen within Chatroom's Interactor. Let's go to the Chatroom's Interactor. This is where this is the first place where we were actually fetching it when the app is launching. This is where I was calling to fetch the chat rooms. So fetch chat rooms was the place where it was happening. So now for syncing it, I can actually use that I can actually pass this WebSocket response API to this interactor, because WebSocket response service, or maybe I can just call it WebSocket service because I don't need to specify what. So response API is what I'm going to consume from it, because I just need to receive receive the new changes which has happened. So that's the only thing I want to receive there. I'm going to say WebSocket service response API is undeclared. It's saying, is it again private? Yeah, public. Let's make it public. And then this one is asking me for that. So again, that is nothing but the WebSocket service itself, because that is compliant with the protocols that we have implemented. So I can directly use that service itself. So now we have it. We just need to instantiate it over. I mean, not instantiate, but accept the reference over here. So my WebSocket service is now available. Now all that I need to do is to maybe create a function. We already have maybe an extension. Chatroom Interactor, and then I can create a function called setup observables or something, and make it private to this, and then call it within the init extension. Why is it saying use of unresolved? Chatrooms Interactor, that's the reason. Okay, so now I can actually call this self dot the Chatrooms. We have the WebSocket service, and that has a socket response. All that I need to do is to filter and see on what I only need to receive signal when it is for syncing. I only need to receive a signal if it is a case called case.notify chatroom, and I can just say let chatroom, and I can say $0. So this is notify chatroom. I'm only going to send a signal through this if return false, if it is notify chatroom. If not, I'm gonna just return false, and then otherwise I'm just gonna say true, which means it's going to propagate the signal if it is notify chatroom. And next thing is I can just use this again, and I'm just gonna say map. Filter map is the structure we follow, and I'm going to say notify. This part is not needed here because I don't use that value, but if I need this, I'm just going to say return. No, don't do anything. If not, I'm just going to use this. This chatroom is available now. So, and let me also verify once before implementing any further, because I don't want to deviate from my existing implementation, which is actually within Chatroom Interactor. Not Chatroom's Interactor. Yeah, it is setup observable, and I'm mapping getting that chatroom. Okay, so maybe I can just modify. This is my response, and I'm going to return it as a chatroom in. So I'm just going to use this response, and if it is nothing, I'm going to return nils, else I'm going to return the chatroom. Hope this is clear. So I'm just doing a filter, and if I know that if the notify chatroom is what the signal is, I'm going to propagate it saying true. If that is the signal, I'm going to propagate it, and then again map that response, and I'm going to return an empty and nillable chatroom so that I can return a nil over here. And then I'm going to use that chatroom which I'm sending to map it and send it to the next map. So I receive a chatroom over here, which is a chatroom which is going to be an optional type because I have defined it as an optional, but actually I know there is a value coming through this. so I can always use that. And whatever I'm going to do to sync this one, because I know I have received a chat room, so I need to sync it. So earlier I was, whenever I was receiving during the initial fetch or during login, however I am getting those are through the service. HTTP service is syncing everything, and then I am accepting it through a relay. This relay is what is actually making that magic happen. So I all that I can now do is to accept this through this relay again, accept with the existing value, add this one, and this being a set, we can pretty much be sure that we are not going to add any duplicates. Even if it is already existing in this one, it's going to overwrite that one. That's how set works. That's the reason I did not keep it as an array, instead relied on a set. So all that I need to now do is to have this Chatroom relay over here. So Chatroom relay is nothing but a behavior relay. It can actually replay your last values. So whenever there is a change happening to it, we are going to receive it as a signal. So that's my signal received, and I'm going to receive, I'm going to keep it as Chatroom, and this being an optional type, I'm just going to say if let Chatroom equals Chatroom. I'm just converting that into a, I'm downcasting that into a Chatroom just in case. Then I'm going to accept that through the relay dot accept as a set. So set can accept an array here. So all that I will do is I'll use the earlier value which is existing in this relay, and then I'm going to append a new Chatroom, because this is a array appending. This value is an array and this Chatroom is a single item. I'm just adding it within an array like this. So this works like this. So it should be fine. So this accepting part is done. So as soon as we receive something through the WebSocket signal, we check notify Chatroom is the signal or not. If it is that one, I propagate this Chatroom and then accept it through this Chatroom relay. Now I can just subscribe. So with the subscription is pretty important here. I need to also create a bag for disposing. Private let bag dispose bag. Pretty much done. So now we are receiving it over here. Should be fine. So I think we are going to receive a new Chatroom through this signal. So let's again, I'm gonna rerun this one. iPhone 11 is what I was running, I guess. This one, Venki is going to receive it when Wish is sending again. So Wish is sending again a new Chatroom. Let's see sync working. Let's see the sync feature working without ordering. So there is some, you're gonna see a small issue over here. It's gonna come through, but it will not be in the order. Create. Done. Did I even receive it? Let's see. So I said it will not be in the order, but did I even receive it? I don't see. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna rerun it and then keep the breakpoint on the receiver side. So that's a receiver. Let's check it once more. Sync test. Oh, I'm still running in this one. So I was actually not receiving. That's the problem. So maybe that send did not happen. Or let me again verify it once more. Let this guy send it. Sync test. Syncing in progress. Create. Okay, now I received it. Sync test syncing in progress. It's received right now on this side. What about this side? Sync test sync in progress. So that is also received. So sync is actually working, but then the problem that is it's not in an order. That's the reason being even the view model is receiving it as a set, and we don't have a sorting in place over there. So we need to actually remove that set on the receiving side. Let's do that. I need to make this as an array. So whatever I pass, I need to pass it as an array, and I need to do a sorting before sending that. So I'm going to modify some of the things. This is receiving a set, that's the reason it's not allowing you to send it as an array. So I'm just going to do a map, and within that map I'm going to call, so this is going to be $0 and a set of chat rooms. I'm just going to say sorted, and I need to apply a sorting on this chat room. So direct sorting can happen like this: $0 dot it's going to be on the date created at, but that's a string, so we need to convert that into a date format. So that we are going to do in a bit. $1 dot created at, so both are actually, this is not going to fix it because it's still not a date. We need to convert this into date. So for that I'm going to do a small thing. I'm going to add something called as we already have a convert to date, or is it not convert? Yeah, we already have a convert to date. So I'm just converting this into date. Convert to date. So I'm just converting that to date. So for comparison between these two dates, I guess that will be enough. And I'm hoping that it's always going to come back with a date so that I can force cast it. So now this comparison is fine. And maybe I'm just gonna check, because it's two optionals comparing against each other, so it's not converting that. Okay, so now convert to date, I hope, is not sending a returning a date. It's an optional type. It's going to be a problem if, let's do one thing. I'm not going to force cast it. Instead I'll just pass the current date for just this checking. This should be fine, I guess. It's both same dates. Where is the error? Okay, there was change because I modified this to convert to date. It's giving me error over here. That's fine. So that's the comparison. Even you can move this algorithm, the presenter. Okay, we are already in the presenter. You can move this sorted to within your model, which is the chat room. You just need to implement the extension Chatroom. You already have equatable hashable. You just need to implement comparable and then implement the public static function greater than LHS dot created at, the same whatever we had there. We just need to implement it over here. RHS dot created at is we need to convert it to the same date. Convert to date. I'm just moving it closer to the model so that you don't need to actually apply it. It needs both. Less than as well as greater than. So that's the implementation for comparable. So you don't need to now call this because you know what needs to be compared. So all that you can do now is go back. You don't need this whole thing. You can just say sorted itself. Okay, I just removed too much, I guess. This is the sorted part. So internally, the model itself is taking care of that sorting. It knows what needs to be done with that sorting. Now let's run and see what shows at the top and bottom and all. Gaming 2 weeks. Still not sorted. Is it even? I think I need to show what is the sorting which we need to apply. By greater than. Let's see. Yeah, so now sorting is working. So I just had to apply that sorting over there. Let's run it in 2 devices again. Stop. Let's relaunch this guy. Syncing in progress. 9 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, 22 minutes ago. So we created so many of them. Sync test. So I can just show you now by creating one more over here. That sorting was the only problem. Sorted new chat room. Sorting, syncing, maybe syncing and syncing using WebSocket and sorting your chat rooms. I'm gonna say create. So you received it. So real-time sync is happening. You saw it. Sorted new chat room, syncing using WebSocket and sorting. Can also create one more here. I wish Ivenki saying hi. I wish hi from Ivenki, but this is not a chat room yet. This is more like this is not a chat message, but then I'm just created and it's received over here as well. Success. Done. So you're receiving it both ends. So that's what this intention of this episode was, to show the first time that we were working with WebSockets. We were just connecting until now, but then we never sent and received data until now. This is the first time we are using it to sync the chat room, but this is not going to work when you are in the background, because when you're in the background, socket response, maybe it will be terminated within like the 5 seconds when background process will stop running. So whenever you are in the foreground, when the app is active, that's when you're going to receive the real-time messages. Otherwise you might have to sync it, or you might even have to use push notification to receive everything. That's not in the scope as of now, but then we are taking it up at a later point. But then real-time active messages, this is the foundation we have built for now. Start working on real-time messaging. This was more like syncing. Also, one interesting thing that we can now even start doing is, as soon as we have set up the chat room, we can start receiving these typing all these messages. New messages received all can come over here instead of these status. So that's what we are targeting. I hope that's going to get completed within a week or something. That's what I'm going to try doing in the coming week, where I start working on the chatting side, where we can start integrating this WebSocket to a greater extent. So I hope this was helpful. Leave your comments, feedback, keep subscribed. If you're already not subscribed, stay subscribed. Subscription helps you to get the notification faster whenever a new video is posted. Also, if you need code access, go to my Patreon site and you have access over there. You need to subscribe to get access. Every updated code will be uploaded over there. So until the next set of episodes coming up in the next week, it's bye from me.